You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your number one source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean. Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, and streaming live on Ustream, this is AFTERBUZZ TV for MTV's The Challenge Rivals. Tonight's host is DJ Jesse Janedy. Joining Jesse will be AFTERBUZZ co-hosts Emily Harbert, Mari Fagel, and Isabel Mora. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest MTV's The Challenge Rivals news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, picking up where the show leaves off and the buzz continues, DJ Jesse Janedy.
Yo, what up, AfterBuzz? It's your boy DJ Jesse Janedy, and we're here for Rivals, Season 21, Episode 8. And wow, this episode was freaking crazy, nuts, bananas, Johnny Bananas on that ass. Before we get started, though, a couple announcements to make. We're back up on iTunes. Make sure you check that out. We're going to be, I don't know if we're giving away prizes or not, but we're giving shout-outs to the top 3 podcasts on iTunes. So make sure you guys check. When you guys check us out, you subscribe to us here at The Rivals Show. Top 3 podcasts right now that are trending. We have Glee Project is number 1. Number 2, we have Project Runway. Congratulations to Courtney Stewart for that. Got only like 2 episodes, and she's already number 2. And number 3, South Park, The Champions. These guys have been holding really strong for a while now. So congratulations to you guys. Also, Stitcher, STITCHER.com. It's an application for your phone. You can download us and take us on the go. You also can download us on iTunes, put it on your iPod, and take us on the go too, as well. I believe we got the Steamer on the line.
Yeah, I'm here.
Steve, what you think tonight?
Love this episode.
Oh, it was packed with so much just fun. We didn't even get the jungle. We just got one challenge today, huh?
Yeah, that's the way they normally do it when they get down towards the finale. They'll put like the last competition right before the finale and the final episode, then they'll go into the final. Just like a little teaser.
Right. Well, they had so much drama this episode that
they did.
I didn't even care for the challenge, actually. Now, I believe we actually have 2 more episodes. So I think that they'll break the finale episode into 2 parts, which kind of makes sense because they still have one more jungle to go through. So let's start talking about this. And we started out tonight with the Toga party because they're going to Buenos Aires. So Cara Maria says, hey, let's have a Toga party. And it was in the Toga, but it was like a wild sex orgy. Let's just face it. It was insane. Like, these guys are just too old to be pulling this Jersey Shore stuff. Like, it was ridiculous. Paula and Mike have this makeout session. Which we have so much stuff to get into today. Like, we're gonna include the after show in this show. So Paula and Mike have this makeout session. What are you thinking about this relationship between the two? Do you think it's just boredom? I mean, in the after show, Paula seemed like she was embarrassed by the situation, and
I don't know what to think of it. I know that I'm disgusted by it. That's the only thing I'm sure of, is the fact that I'm absolutely disgusted that Mike would be hooking up with her. But regardless of that, I think it's just like they're there, there's nothing else for them to do, so they'll hook up. Obviously, Mike seems more genuine about it than Paula does, but I don't think it's going to be serious at all.
No, I totally agree. What did you think of Paula 2.0? A lot cleaner than Paula 1.0.
Yeah.
But
Less chance of getting the STD, but hey, what do I know?
Right. So yeah, during this toga party, everyone starts whipping. They like had this thing in order to get into the toga party, you had to be whipped with a bamboo stick on your ass. And this is where everyone started picking on Mike, and they kept continuously whipping him, throwing, and then as he went to bed, they started throwing cookies at him. Beyond all that, what was happening outside, everyone was just really acting crazy. Tyler was naked on the floor. Mandy's climbing poles, which I know she's used to, but there was just a lot of... It just didn't seem realistic to me. I feel like they were doing it to almost poke fun at these other reality shows. Because they do get crazy sometimes, but I've never seen it to this This was pretty, like...
It's out there.
Did you guys do a drug or of some sort? Was MTV supplying ecstasy? Like, what was in those green drinks that you were drinking? I don't know. So they start throwing cookies and dumping them all in Mike's face while he's sleeping. Tyler's getting in the bed, dry humping him, apparently. Which at first he said Tyler was naked, poking at him, and then he said that Tyler was dry humping him, so that's awkward. What did you think of Mike's reaction to all of this?
I mean, I don't know how long it's been going on. Obviously, they started showing it tonight, but it's probably something that's been building up for however long they've been out there, and he just finally had enough of it. I mean, everyone will reach their breaking point at some point, and that was it for Mike. Like, who the hell are these guys to keep fucking egging him on, teasing him? He had enough, so good for him to stand up and get in their faces about it.
Right, I definitely agree with you. I mean, the way he did it was really intense, I'll say. On
the reunion, he said that he was sleeping and he was woken up. So it's just one of those reactions where you're just jarred out of your bed and you're just fired up about it. So, I mean, I'm sure if he was still awake, he would have been maybe a little more subdued. But the fact that he was sleeping and they woke him up just really set him off. And
then on top of it, you know, he goes, it was interesting, Jen was the one to help pull his stuff out, and he went into the room with CT and Wes. And, of course, we see, you know, Leroy. Leroy comes in and talks to him, and Mike was a little upset with Leroy at first, saying, you know, you're supposed to be my boy, why didn't you have my back in there? And, you know, they have this deal I just saw on Twitter. A lot of people were kind of getting on Leroy's back. Mike was explaining that, you know, they have this deal between the two of them that they stay in the neutral and they focus on just being the number one team. So that's cool. But then I even like the way Leroy came into the bedroom and, you know, explained to Mike, like, you play with them. And you have to understand, like, when you say no and stop, they're going to keep doing it because you've allowed them to play for so long. And they wouldn't do that with Leroy because Leroy's not going to take that from them. Ever. You know, so, and then I thought it was cool at the end when Mike was like, all right, I understand what you're saying, man, but I'm, you know, it was like, I'm still upset, but yeah, I get it. And they gave their cute little daps and whatever. So yeah, they fly to Buenos Aires. Laurel and CT they do a shot of the two of them kind of rekindling, which there's so much. I mean, they could make this really like a 20 episode season with all the drama that they have. They just focus so hard, I believe, on the what's it called? The challenges that they only like to spice it up with the drama. So yeah, then I'm sorry, then they started going crazy again. In the house down there, they're like trashing it already, and this is where Tyler was naked. I apologize. And as if I didn't hate Wes enough, Wes decides to pour a 2-liter bottle of soda on Cara Maria.
It's a real tough move by him.
Right. I don't know. I don't really know how to take it. I don't really know how to take the situation. Because there were times where Cara Maria was like talking shit back to him, but she had a smirk on her face. So I don't know how I feel about I just wish I could understand what the relationships in the house really were, what they were really like. You know, because, like, are they just doing this for the camera? Are they saying, you know what, I'm just going to be a bitch to Cara Maria today just to stir up some controversy? And does Cara Maria know that? Or because, I mean, she was acting like they genuinely hated her.
And they probably do.
Right. Well, that too. But, I mean, he was in her face. You know, he called her annoying, fake. And then Paula randomly gets up and starts backing Wes up. How did you take the situation with Paula? Because before Laurel was involved, just seeing Paula jump into that, what thoughts were going through your mind?
That's the type of person she is, though. Like, she always tries to, like, play like the victim. She's always, like, just emotionally blackmailing people with, like, all her excess baggage. And then when she has a chance to jump on somebody else, she takes it. It's like, if you're somebody who wants to play the victim, you can't go and then victimize somebody else. Like, you just gotta, like, just take a step back yourself. If you want people to sympathize with you, you can't just randomly attack people all because your pal Wes was an asshole and dumped soda on somebody. No, just take a step back and move yourself. Just walk away. You have nothing to do with that situation.
Right. Exactly. Paula just had this ugly side to her. I didn't really care about Paula throughout this whole season, but watching this really got under my skin. Like, I was total team Laurel tonight. You know, Cara Maria goes into the room and she starts crying, and it was really nice to see Laurel kind of back her up. You know, and Laurel's just getting so fed up. She's been watching her, her teammate get picked on for what? How many episodes has this been? 2, 3? Because at first it was started with Jen.
Yeah. It's probably been constant throughout the season, and once again, they're showing pieces of it now to fit what they want to show. So It's been how many weeks they've been there? They've been teasing her and picking at her.
Right. So Laurel goes out. She goes and stands up for Cara, and she's pushing Wes out the room because Wes was just being such a baby, following them into the room, talking, "I don't like you. Nobody likes you. Nobody likes you." Like, Wes. You fire crotch. That's what Laurel kept walking around calling him that. And then Kenny walks in like he's Superman. What's the problem? You know what the problem is. It's not that big of a house. I'm sure you can hear everything that's going on. Laurel pulls him outside, and she explains the situation, walks out pissed, and starts picking on Paula. Loved this. I love this because I love when the bully gets bullied. Paula thought... You know exactly what happened with that situation was Wes was being the bully to Cara. Cara is the weakest person in the house mentally. So Paula figured, you know what, I could jump in on this and I can get involved. And not thinking that Laurel's going to basically put her in her place. So Laurel is trying to pour another 2-liter of bottle on Wes, and Wes is running around the piano like a table. And Tyler was so cautious about the piano. Did you see that part? No, not around the piano. You guys have trashed the entire house. What's up with the piano? What's going on? Laurel calls Paula a 39-year-old reject loser with fake boobs, ugly, has no husband, and an anorexic bitch.
True. All true. I don't know about the age, but the rest of it, pretty inaccurate.
I mean, I would believe she was 39. That's pretty old for these challenges.
Yeah.
But
I don't think she's that old, but it's probably not that much of a stretch.
No.
I mean, she looks 39, so...
Yeah, I'll give her
that'd be pretty accurate, too.
2 to 3 years on that. Then Tyler gets in her face and is like, "Stop picking on my friend and don't do all this." And Johnny throws a bottle of water. I had to rewind it a couple times because someone threw a bottle of water at Laurel. And Laurel, because everyone's trying to tell Laurel to stop pouring it. So I rewound it and it was Johnny. At first I thought it was Adam, and I was going to get so pissed if it was Adam. Because really, and I have a bone to pick with Adam later in the episode as well, with his little cockiness. But Paula starts crying. Oh, poor Paula.
That's the way she's always been. She's always had something to cry about on every single challenge she's on, and she wants people to feel sorry for her. thinks it'll get her further in the game. It's just playing on people's like emotional attachment to you. I have no respect at all for that. People who do that are just worthless, and that's all she does. She's a drunk mess. She just tries to play off people's emotions. It's sickening.
Don't spit it out if you can't handle it. She said.
Exactly.
She's sitting there crying, saying, "How can Laurel have that much hatred towards somebody?" Now,
when I first saw the preview, and I saw Laurel going at her, I'm like, oh no, they're gonna make me feel bad for Paula. But then when you see the whole thing, when you see her going after Cara Maria, putting her ugly face in other people's business, it's good. She got what she deserved. So don't feel sorry for her one bit.
Well, what was the situation during Cutthroat? It was Laurel and Eric, and they touched upon it in the after show.
Yeah.
What?
I guess they were in a pool, and Laurel kept going up to Eric. Supposedly Eric said something to her initially to start her off, but everyone just focused on what she said about him, calling him fat, saying he had a small dick, and all sorts of other stuff. And it went on from there. I guess she tried to apologize on the online MTV snippets that they have.
Well, and she apologized at the reunion.
Yeah, well, on the reunion, it was what they showed here. It was kind of sketchy because it was she apologized and she didn't really apologize, and Big Easy's standing in her face. It was very awkward.
I mean, what I said was what I wrote down.
What's up, man? This is Leroy.
Hey, Leroy, what's going on?
How you doing, man?
Good. We're breaking down this episode. This was by far the crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Roy Lee on the phone from MTV's Rivals Challenge. This episode was crazy. AFTERBUZZ TV. So crazy we needed a bumper for that. Leroy, you were a beast. A beast freaking mode. How fast was your time during that? Climbing the rope?
I think 5 or 6 seconds at the most.
Are you fucking kidding me? 5 or 6 seconds.
You know what's crazy is I just did a Ustream. I haven't even seen the episode because I'm in Las Vegas right now, so I had to go off of what people were tweeting.
Oh, so you haven't even seen what MTV is showing us? I couldn't have even guessed how quick. It literally looked 5 seconds on the screen, and if that was your real time, then I think you're probably the only person in the house who could compete with CT by far.
Yeah, already. I appreciate that. I mean, a lot of other people in the house can, man, but you can't if you're afraid. You feel me? So you're already defeated.
Right, and that's what we've been talking about this whole season, watching you guys. Everyone goes in there hating CT, and I understand past and what's been going on. What's been going on with their little petty little arguments and stuff. But when it comes down to it, and I watch this game is called The Challenge. It's not the real world. It's not Bad Girls Club. I understand, they're going in it with that mentality, but this is The Challenge. And to me, the only people who I see went into this as a challenge is you, Mike, and CT. For the guys.
Yeah.
Everybody else, and I was kind of disappointed. There were times with Nehemiah, I looked at him, he seemed like he was a pretty intense challenger. But the way MTV edits it, I'm not really sure if he really had anything to do with the mob and the alliances and whatnot.
No, you know what? He had nothing to do with him. He was actually mad that he was partnered up with Evan. So Evan, he's built into that alliance because he didn't want to have nothing to do with it, and I felt bad for him because there's nothing he could do about it.
Right. So now with that situation, when Evan, did you know Evan was going to lose that challenge?
Yeah, he actually told us when we were right before me and Mike were about to do it. He said, "All you gotta do is just don't come in last, and we're gonna throw a challenge." In my head, I was like, "All right, fool. I mean, do what you gotta do." I was happy about it. For me, it was just I'm gonna just lay low, do me. We were, no matter what, me and Mike are gonna try to win the whole thing. But when he said he was gonna throw it, I was like, this makes it even easier for us, especially when it's a guy's day, because every time there's a challenge, the pressure's always on me and Mike. You never know when they're gonna call our name. But even if they had, called our name and sent us into a jungle, man, we would have been ready. you would have never seen us giving out no speeches saying why'd you throw us in there. And it was crazy tonight as I was talking on my Ustream how Tyler was tripping so bad, but it had been me and Mike that went into the jungle. Nobody wouldn't have shit to say. You feel me?
That's when I watch these things, I take notes. That was the quote that I wrote down from you. Tyler, for me, I've never been a Tyler fan, and watching this whole situation, I was totally... Now, you're really cool in the house. So with this whole Cara Maria thing and, with the Wes situation and Laurel standing up...
What happened with that? I've seen a lot of people who said that I was sleeping a lot when stuff was going on. I didn't get a chance to watch it.
It was, and actually, I'm not going to lie, but it reminded me of the time back in the Real World house when Mike and Dustin got into the argument. I was like, where's Leroy? And we're looking at it here, and Leroy is asleep. And I'm actually looking up at it on the bed. On the TV right now. Cara Maria is sitting in the bed next to you, and you have your little eye thing pads on, and you're just laying down chilling. And Cara Maria keeps crying, I can't believe people are so mean. And then you poke your head up, and you're just, yeah, can't believe it.
I mean, in my head, I'm just like, Cara Maria, you arguing with the dude. I just like to stay out of stuff, man. Like, I really don't know people there that well, and it was like it's really none of my business. Like, I don't like to sit there and hear women cry, but I really didn't want to dig too much into it, man. It's kind of like being in those houses, man. Those towns is like being in prison, man. You just got to mind your own business.
Well, and
for real.
I mean, these houses. Even we were talking earlier before you called. We were talking about how crazy they were all acting, and I mean, I don't ever see you whenever they're doing these like Jersey Shore scenes in the house, trashing the house and whatnot. Like, you keep to yourself for sure. But with the Cara part, did you feel for her, or did you feel like it was taken out of context, or was Wes really being a bully in the house?
Hell yeah, you was. You know what? Definitely the show. I actually did talk to Cara Maria about it, and I said, look, there's a lot of stuff that goes on these challenges. You know this, because this wasn't her first rodeo. I said, if you can't handle this type of stuff, you shouldn't come back. I definitely felt that was disrespectful for Wes to do that to her, because had her boyfriend been there, he wouldn't have pulled no stunt like that. And it's just like, Wes does a lot of stuff, man, for the camera. You know what I mean? So you're going to pour a bottle of Coke on the female's head.
Ridiculous.
It was just, it just wasn't a good look. But I definitely talked to her and, told her that it would be okay. But for the most part, man, like I said, anything that was going on in the house, man, I even told Mike, like, Mike, let's just lay low and not worry about it. A lot of stuff that was going on, we were always sleeping or just laying in our bed playing sleep. When they got to picking on Mike, what happened was they had been doing that shit to Mike for a while. And Mike would do stuff like dress up as Tyler. You see an episode where Mike's walking around with Tyler's outfit on, and he would dress up as Johnny. He would play with them all the time, and they thought that Mike would do stuff like that to, try to fit in with those guys. Me, I never had to do nothing like that. I said, Mike, you make them think that it's okay, because they would pick on Mike all the time. When he first got there, they used to stuff dildos in his bag, and Mike would just laugh and joke it off. So as they were throwing cookies at him, they just thought Mike was just, being a pushover, just like, stop but don't stop. How somebody's like stop, but they're really like not tripping too hard. So
but he was tripping hard. He was he went off. I mean,
see, MTV's only showing you that one time that he exploded. See, that was just a build-up of them doing that to him throughout the whole challenge. But throughout the whole time we were there, Mike was making it seem as if it was okay. So they thought that it was all right for them to do that. If he'd have put his foot down the first time, like, yo, man, don't play with me like that, then everything would have been straight. But he kept, come on, guys, and then he'd be laughing about it. Come on, guys, and then he'd be laughing about it. So they didn't know whether it was serious or not. So, me and Mike, we kind of argued a little bit about it, but I said, look, man, I got your back, but, I mean, don't let them play with you like that, because I'm there. I'm a rookie just like Mike. Nobody never tried me like that.
Right. No, we just finished talking about that right before you called. I loved how you went into the room with Mike, and Mike seemed a little upset with you, but you laid it out for what it was. You explained, and then even that, I saw you guys tweeting back and forth with each other, expressing that you guys like to play it neutral. And I understand, because this is a competition, they're going to go against you. They have allies and all that. So if you go against one of them, then they'll all gain up on the two of you. And right now you're playing, to me, you're playing the game better than CT played the game. You're playing the game better than any of these people have played before, because they're afraid of you. They're gaining fear for you. And you're not being rude to anyone. You're not pushing. You're not being a bully in the house. So
Right.
you're becoming this neutral person that everyone knows. Wow, he's an amazing competitor. You know, and you really stood your ground today. But one person, and this is what slipped my mind before you had called. We talked about the situation with Mike. One person in the house that aggravates me is Adam, because to me, CT, I feel, and maybe it's the editing that MTV does, CT has been trying to get Adam to side with him. And Adam's going back and forth with the as they call themselves, the mob, and he just looks like a bitch the entire time. And so when the situation happened with Mike in the bed and they're spilling cookies on him, was Adam involved with that? Because if so, if they were doing that to Adam, Adam's sitting there laughing at Mike and all that, and to me that's just so fake, because if Mike wasn't there, they would be doing it to Adam. So I don't know.
They Adam definitely wasn't throwing cookies. What Adam's situation is, he's friends with all the guys from the mob, and he hates CT from wherever their previous history is.
Right.
But in my head, bro, there's $100,000 on the line. Like, why would you not go hard just to make your boys happy? They're playing Adam like the dummy.
Right.
You know? So in my head, I'm not gonna step up and say anything because it ain't my business, and we're all in competition, so I could really care less. But Adam, man, and Adam is a real good friend of mine. He's really cool, man. He's one of the coolest people off the challenge. But he definitely wasn't. It was only Johnny and Evan that were doing it. I think Kenny. I don't think Tyler was. But they all used to, mess with Mike or whatever. But Mike would make them think that it's okay. And I'm glad that Mike stood up for himself. A lot of people see Mike on TV and think that he's this big nerdy pushover, and he's not. When Mike gets pissed, he'll let you know how it is, whether he got to take a black eye from it or whatever. So and that's why I love him, man.
Right. When TJ told you guys after you guys won the competition that day, when TJ said to you, "All right, you guys get to pick right there, then and there," what was the reaction for everybody? Because I know they like to go home, they go back to the house, they deliberate. Are you?
Oh yeah, they were in shock, bro. They didn't know what to do. See, the trip part was, CT went first, I went second. When I climbed that, everybody was like standing there watching. I climbed the rope so fast. As soon as we came up out of the water, Wes hurried up and ran over there and asked Mike for a vote. See, that's what they don't show on TV. Wes went over there and asked everybody for a vote because he knew that he wasn't going to beat that time. Like, everybody, like, when I climbed that rope, I knew right then and there that we made it to the finals, especially after CT fell in. I knew nobody else was going to climb it as fast as me. So Wes went over there and asked Mike for a vote. So that's why we voted for Johnny and Tyler. But with or without Wes saying that, Johnny and Tyler were going to get thrown in anyway because of the fact that Kenny and Wes has all the votes in the house. Right. So I don't know why Johnny and Tyler were acting brand new about it.
I don't know why they were in that sense either. But again, what just irks me is Wes. This kid blows my mind. How popular he is in this house. I don't know how it happens. I mean, I watch this show, and as
he's popular because he says the right things. Meaning, when he does these one-on-one interviews with the producers, and he has this cocky swagger about him.
Yep.
That's what makes TV.
Oh,
now,
absolutely.
and I say this all the time. Wes walks around the house quiet. He's quiet all the time. He's never, like what you see on TV. You never see Wes walking around the house talking shit to nobody. Only when he has that one-on-one camera interview is him by himself. So that's what irks me too watching. Like, cause I know Wes. Wes spent most of his time having conversations with Mike about growing plants and shit. And then you see him on TV, and he's a Greek god.
Yes.
And then next thing you know, he's saying he's afraid of CT. It's just like, come on, man, keep it real, bro.
And this is we were so stumbled by this, but on TV, Wes does all this stuff, and then we watched the after show today, and on the other after show. I forget what incident that was. I think it was with CT. When Nehemiah had got kicked off, there was that after show. Wes turns into this, when he is confronted by anyone, he just puts his head down. He doesn't say much. And, he got on the floor to Cara Maria. I'm apologizing. I'm telling you, I'm sorry. What? who are you? What kind of person is this? I don't
And see, the thing is, once people see themselves on TV, they know America's going to eat them alive, so they get on there, and if they get a chance to say they're sorry, then they will. Same thing that happened with Adam when he was on our season. You know, he's seen how bad it looked on TV, so when you get a reunion, you get an after show, you get a chance to try to redeem yourself. America knows. America's been watching Wes on TV forever. They know his personality. Some people like it, but that's good TV. You know, I'll give it to him. Wes makes very good TV. He makes, even though people, you know, can't stand him, you need somebody like that on the show to make you want to watch. Like, you know, I can't stand this motherfucker. And I mean, outside of it, outside of Wes is cool. Watching him on TV, it's just like, damn, dude, I feel like a fan myself. Like, somebody please slap this fool in the mouth.
Yes.
But while I'm there filming with him, Wes, he's quiet. He spent a lot of time sleeping. He never really said too much. The night when him and CT got into it, he came into our room asking us why didn't we help him out. It's so much that MTV don't show y'all, and that's why I like to be able to get a chance to express it, you know, with you or, you know, on my Ustream or whatever, because there's just a lot that goes on that people don't see.
Oh, and we totally.
CT punches after watch the season, and then know, you know, why everybody had all this beef or why people don't like CT.
Right.
I mean, I get to do.
Oh, Leroy? All right, I think we might have just lost Leroy on the phone. Hopefully we can get him back up. Steam, are you there?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Just listening to what Leroy had to say.
He's freaking awesome. You know, if we can get him back on the phone, Steamer, if you have any questions, make sure you definitely, we're going to get those in. But the whole situation with Tyler, you know, as soon as that started happening, what were your thoughts as far as Tyler's reaction towards Paula for putting him in the vote?
I don't know what he expected. I don't know how. Like
Hello?
I don't know how the. Hello?
We have Leroy back, I believe.
Leroy.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah, I lost it. I'm sorry, my phone.
No problem. We were just sitting here talking about, you know, this whole situation with Tyler and Paula. But actually, before we get into that, while we have you on the phone, you know, you brought up a really good thing. You like to, you know, you like to come on these shows and express the reality of these reality TV shows.
Right.
The Village Voice actually got a hold of an MTV standard contract. It's a 30-page document, and it requires cast members to sign basically your lives away. The first stipulation being that in participating in this show could cause death, loss of limbs, or a mental illness. I mean, when you were offered this, and you read this contract, did anything go through your mind like, what am I signing here?
No, most definitely. It even went through my head when I saw the real world contract. But when it says, you know, death could happen or this is not in the third, so death could happen without being on the challenge. You know,
So
you could lose a limb, getting in a car accident. So for me, it was just like I kind of like looked past all of that and just said, you know what, this is something that I always wanted to do, so I'm gonna get it done, man. You know what, like really, when I seen the contract and all the stipulations, man, I kind of just prayed on it. Like I'm hoping that none of this crazy stuff happens, but this is the same shit that can happen in everyday life. So, and the contract is crazy. There's so much stuff in there that you can and can't do. So, but it's just like any other contract that people sign. So I'm just like, whatever.
Well, what about, I mean, as far as, well, actually, I guess you wouldn't have this problem. And I say this all the time. If I was to go into, you know, one of these houses, I wouldn't get into the same issue. I would probably be more like you in the sense of I wouldn't have these issues. But MTV basically says we can portray you in a false light. We can change your backstory to whatever we want it to be. You know, I don't think you give them anything for them to do, so they're able to do that to you. So like I said, I think you're playing this very smart. I don't think you're playing anything. I think you're just going in there realistically. And, you know, it's like the situation with Wes. I think over the years he's seen, you know, although Wes is quiet, I do think he has this little bitchy attitude that can come out if he's pushed to
yeah, no doubt.
And I think he saw that MTV caught that every time, and he's almost turned it into a character.
That's what it is.
Right.
So,
Now,
yeah, because the show's not scripted at all, but like you said, you took the words right out of my mouth. They're only going to show what you give them. And it's not that I don't try to give them. I'm being myself, man. So what I'm giving them, what you're seeing on TV is me, whether it be me in a bad way or a good way, man. You know, they're showing Wes, that's just Wes being him, but they're just choosing not to show the other good side of him and other stuff that he talks about because it's boring. You know what I mean? It doesn't make good TV. So any challenge that I do, I don't think they'll be able to, you know, categorize me as a villain or anything like that. I'll always be known as somebody who's going to be straightforward because that's the only way that I am.
Right. And
that's the only thing I'm going to give them. I can't give them anything less. If you see me on another one of these shows and I'm acting different, then people can call me out like, yo, that ain't Lee.
Yep.
That's not him.
No, and we definitely appreciate that. So getting back into what we were just talking about, Tyler and Paula, that situation, and then for Tyler to get up in your face, and I mean, like you said exactly, if it was me going in there, you guys would have no problems telling me to man up, and Tyler was afraid, and that's what the situation came down to. Did it get nastier than what we saw? Well, you didn't see it. I mean, did he get really nasty
with me and Tyler?
you? Yeah.
No, I mean when he got my face, man. See, like that's the same instance thing what happened with Adam, and that's even on the street. Things are cool until you get into someone's bubble. You feel me? So when we're standing out, we're having an argument or discussion with each other, and we're a distance apart. It's cool, but when he got my face, I felt so uncomfortable. It's like I feel like laying this fool out. And the same thing with Adam off my show. I'm just keeping it real, and I was like, at that point, I really didn't know what to do or say. I was like, you know what, Lee. And then like with Tyler, he's better like a woman sometimes, so it's hard to hold an argument with him. I was like, you know what, it's over with. Once I proved my point of him being scared, him admitting it, he admitted on TV that he was scared.
Right. No, he didn't admit on TV he was scared.
Okay, well, while we were there, he admitted it while we were having an argument. They don't show that. He was like, yo, you know, I am scared. And I said, you know what?
Huh?
That's it. This conversation's over with, you know? So he just, you know, stood up and got my face, and I was like, all right, man, you know what? Ain't nothing about to jump off. Tyler's not about to punch me. I'm not about to punch him. So that's just it.
Well, and you know he's not going to punch you if he gets in your face because he's not that stupid.
Yeah, and me neither, man. You know what? I'm not really like a violent person. The only time where I could see myself being violent, especially if I'm on the street, would be an instant like that. If somebody's in my face, I feel like I need to get off on you before you get off on me. You feel what I'm saying?
Yep.
So that right there is uncomfortable, man, when somebody's standing that close to me and we're exchanging words. On the street, man, where I'm from, you won't even, before you even run up that close, man, it's a wrap. But it was just, you know, a stupid argument. But I mean, I think I made a lot of good valid points, man. And I really was wishing CT came downstairs so he can explain to me why people have this big fear. Like, because I want to know, like, what is it that you did to make people so fearful of you? You know, how many challenges have you won? Has he won a bunch of challenges? Like, has he won a bunch of final challenges?
You talking about
No.
Tyler?
No, CT.
Well,
Never
no.
won.
Go ahead, Steve.
He's never won.
Yeah, he's never won anything.
Yeah, so I don't get it then. I mean, has he hurt a lot of people? Has he put a lot of people in the hospital? Has he? I mean, what is it that makes everybody so afraid? I don't get it. I can see if he was like a strong competitor, he's always winning challenges. You're cautious because you know this guy's going to go to a final and win the whole thing. But if he hasn't, then what is it to be scared about?
Well, we have our real world challenge expert on the phone, Steve the Steamer. Steve, as far as what CT with CT, I mean, he is a great competitor. He's very in your face.
The only reason he ever loses is because he does it to himself. Like, he has like a mental error, like gets DQ'd or something like that. It's not because like his physical abilities, because obviously the guy is wickedly gifted. But
Right.
like as they showed like on Cutthroat last year when he carried Johnny like a backpack in 10 seconds.
Right.
That's why Johnny's scared. And Tyler, I guess he fought off CT for a little bit, but still, like, he knows he can't do that again. So I sure as hell be afraid of CT. That's just me, but I'm not on the show.
And not only that, but I mean, all these guys are coming from the beginning. They come into this challenge, they group up like little girls and talk about, okay, who can we screw over? What can we do? How can we trip this up? What about, hey, let's go to bed and prep for the competition tomorrow?
My man, already.
I mean, and, you know, also what was really pissing me off with Tyler getting in your face was you said you had many valid points. Tyler kept, I don't even know what stupidity was coming out of it. I have been doing how many of these challenges? You're a rookie. You don't, you all just climbed the ladder in 5 seconds.
The
Right.
quote was this: "You've never been in a fucking elimination round ever in a challenge, so tell me what being scared is."
Right.
I have no idea what the hell that even means. Like, just because you've never been in an elimination round doesn't mean.
My thing is like, this is my first challenge, but this isn't like my first time competing in life. You feel what I'm saying? So like, Tyler was just, he was just all messed up in the head because he was not only going against CT, but he was going into a jungle period, and it was this close to getting that money. So in my head, man, me and Mike had already said to ourselves that we got to go in. We already know we're going to end up going against CT and Adam. We're going to go for broke, period. I mean, we're not going to get no speech. We're not going to cry about it. We're not going to walk around with our heads down. We're going to walk around with confidence and act like nothing's going on. But with Tyler, it was just, the bitch came up out of him, man. And that's just real shit.
Oh, it sure did. And then for him to point in your face and say, "You don't know what I've been through," which is funny because they showed that in the commercials, but they didn't show it in tonight's episode. And I kind of wish they did because, every time I've seen that commercial, I've said, well, clearly you haven't watched The Real World and you don't know where Leroy's came from because I understand.
And then I was getting him so good, he was like, he accused me of calling him gay.
Oh.
The producers even looked like, cause the people that were filming the camera, they looked like, what is he talking about? Like, I was just making him look so stupid that I was like, man, I told him, I said, just go to bed, bro. I said, just go to bed because the more you talk, the worse you're going to look. I don't know if they showed that on TV.
They did, but they didn't explain. They didn't put the gay part in there at all. They just
no, but I never even the words never even came out of my mouth. He just said it just so you know. I was like, bro, you're losing right now, man.
Yeah. So what did you think the next morning when? I mean, he looked crazy to me. The next morning coming up, I feel great. I feel like I love Leroy even more than because we went through all that. What pills are you on? What kind of drugs is MTV feeding you?
Bro, I cannot wait to watch this episode because I didn't even see that yet.
Leroy, the best episode out of this season. I mean, every week it keeps getting better for me. This by far blew the. I ran into the studio getting ready to talk about this.
The next morning he apologized to me, man. I was just like, and I forgave him. It wasn't that big deal. I don't really hold grudges like that, man. I've been through way worse shit in my life. So I was like, it is what it is, but. I mean, he admitted it. You know what I mean? That's okay. If you're afraid, that's fine. But don't come down on me and Mike. I told Mike, like, we don't have to play the game no more. We're in the finals. The game is over with.
Right.
Now we're just competing against, try to win. We don't have to sit here and be friends with anybody. We don't have to bullshit. I don't have to be quiet no more. Now I could really, say whatever if somebody say something slick to me. So that's what I did. And that could have been with anybody in the house.
No, and
at that point, I'm like, we solid. We in the finals. We ain't got to worry about shit. Now it's just like do or die.
Yep, and I'm definitely proud of you. And on top of that, it was really happy for me to see you and CT, for what it looks like to us, because I'm always watching this. I'm always like, the stuff that goes on in these challenges, it's very repetitive. So hopefully if they bring you back for another challenge, or when they bring you back for another challenge, we can get a new mob in. I mean, not even a mob, but just... I want to see this game go back to competing. I don't want the drama.
The thing is the challenge now is all about lying and building an alliance to save your ass. And that's what I don't like about it, because they cast the same people over and over again.
Yep.
There's been 25 real worlds, and you can only think of these people, but these people are who make TV. These are the ones going to get on there. So CT there, I mean, I don't know what they showed in this episode, but when I first met CT, I had just came from the real world. My boy had just got killed, so we finished the real world in December is when, my friend got killed, and then I went on the challenge in February, so I was talking to CT, he was telling me how his brother got killed, and it was just, it was just so much about him and me that we had in common. So, I mean, we were cool, and I was cool with everybody on there, so, people were like, were you trying to build an alliance for him to save your ass? It wasn't an alliance. It was just like, I want him to make it there so we could go up against each other. I definitely wouldn't want to go up against him and blast off with me and Mike because he hurt Mike, and then I have to kill Adam.
And now even with that, what's going on with your situation with Adam? Adam from the real world.
Oh, I was talking about Adam from
the challenge.
But with me and Adam right now, we cool. Like, I ain't got a problem with him. Actually, we was in Las Vegas, man, a couple months ago. We did a fundraiser, and Adam really never had a problem with me. It was me more so having a problem with him for him pushing me, man. It was so hard for me to get over that, man. I swear I used to lose sleep at night. And I just went up to him. I said, look, bro, I'm over it, man. Let's just squash it. I'm tired of, like, seeing you not speaking always, you know, not because, like, whenever we're all together, I don't want to be around you. I want to punch him. And it's just like, when you got so much negative energy built up, man, you lose energy, man. I don't really have time to be being mad no more. I had people do way worse shit to me than shove me. I had people, like, punch me in the face before. So I was like, we squashed it. We're not best friends. We don't talk on the phone every day, you know what I'm saying? He may shoot me a text here or there or tweet at me, but for the most part, it's like, he did what he did, I did what I did. It's a wrap, man. I'm trying to, you know, learn, change, grow from everything that I did in Las Vegas, man, because it's so much that went on. People don't understand. So many people that want to get on these shows, but you have no idea how hard it is and how much, you know, people are going to judge you when you get off these things. So I actually kind of, like, got Adam's back when it comes to the fact to tell people, like, not to tweet mean shit to him and, you know, go to his Facebook, because it's like, you know what, the kid made some mistakes. It is what it is. It's a wrap. So, you know, I dropped the grudge, man.
No, you had actually. I follow you guys on Twitter, and you had an amazing tweet. It was like a month ago or something. And Adam said, "Guess what I'm doing on my Friday night?" In whatever the website where
masturbating.
Yes, to Dustin, whatever that website is. That was hilarious.
Yeah, you know what? I'll go at him and say slick shit or whatever for the fun of it, man. But there ain't no more beef there, man, and it feels good. You know what I mean? Just to have the shit over with.
That's good. What
if
about
he tries me like that again, I'm gonna kill him.
What's going on with the beef between Mike and Dustin? Or do they just
That beef actually got squashed out. No, we did an appearance together out in Wisconsin. Okay. And they actually surprised me and brought Mike in. I didn't know Mike was coming in, and Dustin caught a fit about it. Dustin was pissed, and I told Mike, I said, man, go over there and talk to him and squash this shit, because it's like, it's too much, man. You know, people see us, it's just, you know, out in public or whatever. It's just like, end it, bro. It's not worth it. So they squashed it, they shook hands, they took pictures, they exchanged numbers, they video recorded it and everything, man. So I mean, who knows? And it's legitimate. Like, you know, the beef is done.
That's good. Well, MTV kind of lost out for some TV time, because I feel like, not that I would never replace you for anybody on the challenge, but that would have made, I feel, amazing TV putting Mike in. Dustin.
You know what? If anybody, I think their number one choice was Dustin and Mike, but I think Dustin turned it down. At least that's what Dustin said. Oh. Because when I got the call to go on the challenge, I didn't know Adam was going to be there. We didn't know the theme of the show until we actually talked to TJ. So everybody was just on the bus like, well, damn, I'm on the bus with somebody that I don't like. Right. And then we kind of like started putting it together and shit. And it was, oh. So we didn't know if it was going to be us going against each other or us teaming up. And I was like, yo, if I'm going against Adam, it's a wrap for this kid. You know, he's done. And they was like, oh, he's on your team. And I was like, oh, shit.
All right. So before we talk about what you got planned right now, Steve, you have any questions you want to, I mean, you're the expert here. Out of all the, you know, you've been watching this for how long? You have someone on the line right now who's live in the action. Any questions for Leroy?
Not really a question. I just wanted to reiterate how dominant his performance was in the challenge tonight. It was just phenomenal. Like, that's the Leroy I wanted to see when the season first started. Like, I wanted to see somebody new come in there and just take charge, like, athletically, and just dominate. And they, like, put you, like, in, like, swimming competitions, all sorts of, like, bootlegged water action. But finally you're able just to show, like, the force that you could be, and I just couldn't be happier for you.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. You know what? I was saying the same thing the whole time we were there. I was like, none of these challenges are really, I'm looking at TV now. They get athletic. I mean, me, I know how to swim, but come on, man, I'm fever, but we don't really get in the water like that. So I'm up here trying to, you know, I actually landed on Mike, and this fool swim faster than I did.
I was just going to ask you that.
For me, it was just like, you know what? And I bet you if they was in a 100-yard dash, I'll dust everybody. You know what I mean? You throw me a football, let's go. You give me a basketball, let's go. But all this swimming and jumping off of cliffs and shit, man, that ain't for me.
Well, you did good when you jumped off the cliff and had to jump over the ropes. That was with Adam at first.
Yeah, but see, that was for a long jump. In my head, I was scared as hell, man. But see, when you put that type of thing on the line, you talking about the one with Adam when we won the first one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, long jump too. I mean, I ran track, so that was nothing. But it's all this swimming shit, man. And like now, if I ever have to do another challenge, I'll definitely, you know, try to get my swimming game a little better. 'Cause I'm horrible.
Oh, well, actually, question for tonight's challenge. I don't know if it was the editing or what, but to me, it looked like the helicopter was swimming much closer to The helicopter was flying much closer to the water when CT was trying to climb the rope. Was it just he was taking longer to get up there, or?
No, you know what? He said something about that too. Would that have made it worse or easier?
It made it worse because the rope was
Okay.
under the water and it was like really pulling back, so he couldn't like get his foot up on it. And I
Okay.
didn't see that happen with Wes, and it looked, for me, CT's pretty like in the zone with it. And I rewound it a couple times just to check it out. It looked like that to me. You climbed so fast I couldn't even like tell. And then,
Right.
really I could only compare it to Johnny and Wes.
You know what? Well, and that's what I was talking about when the challenge was over, when everybody was complaining about the rope, and CT said something about it, and I was like, you know what? Because there's no way that everybody climbed the rope except for CT. I said they did
Exactly.
something wrong, something happened, and he was explaining to me. He said, Lee, man, it was in the water, this and that. In my head, I wasn't trying to hear that shit because I won. I didn't give a damn.
Right.
I was hoping that they put it in the water for everybody. I didn't care. But he definitely said something about it. He was bitching about it, and the producer is just like, you know what? I mean, it's a damn helicopter. We really have no control over it. I was like, I mean, who knows? Maybe they did it on purpose.
I
But if
personally
they
think they did. But, I mean, whatever. CT is just a beast anyway, so
Yeah, no doubt.
he'll overcome it. So we're about to head to a commercial break, but before we head to a commercial, I want to talk to you about your clothing line. You have a T-shirt line coming out.
Yeah, it's already out. It's off of itstshirttime.com. It's royally inspired tees, man. It's like a bunch of quotes that I normally say. I have one on right now. It says "Wrap it up," because I'm out here in Las Vegas, and this is where I did. I caught that STD and got my roommate pregnant
Yes.
off the show.
You got some
that
that
definitely
say,
wasn't a good look, but I got a couple that says for girls says I love Roy Lee. I wish Roy Lee was my trash man. Beat it nerd, man. It's definitely a good look, man.
now we got two psychos in the house, the official
Yep,
Stamp
that
It.
was, yeah.
and Chicks Dig Trash Man.
With the firefighter outfit on.
Yes. So yeah, it's T-shirt time, itst-shirttime.com. Check out Roy Lee's inspired T-shirts. Leroy, thanks so much for joining us tonight. We definitely got to get you out. I know you're heading out to LA very soon.
Yeah, I'll probably be out there sometime by the end of next week, man. Make sure everybody just listening. Follow me on Twitter, man. Roy Lee 25. Hit up my YouTube channel. I put a lot of good workout videos on there. Everybody wants to know, what I do for workouts. That's Roy Lee 25 MTV. Hit my Facebook fan page up, the Leroy Roy Lee Garrett, all of that, man. It's a movement, man. Learn, change, grow.
Absolutely, and definitely. What's the? Are you working with a charity right now? Because I saw some pictures of you with kids, and I can't remember what the shirt said, but you all were wearing the same.
Oh yeah,
shirt.
the NBC, the Minority Brothers crew. Yeah, they're back out in Dallas. It's the dance crew, man. These little young teenagers, man, they beasts, man. It's kind of they're like on some old America's Best Dance Crew type stuff, man. They're up and coming, man. It's kind of like I'm a mentor for them.
Awesome. Well, I mean, we appreciate it. Thank you for being a stand-up guy, for going on reality TV and being, finally, we get a real person on one of these shows. We appreciate you calling in. Hopefully we'll get you in studio hopefully by the reunion. And yeah, just keep on doing your thing and keep us updated on whatever and everything that you're doing.
Most definitely, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm going to get in the studio, no doubt, man. I'll probably bring a couple friends with me, some girls, man.
Awesome. All right, so we're going to head out to a commercial break. And Leroy,
nice talking to you too, Steamer.
All right. Thanks a lot, Leroy.
all right,
Yeah.
we'll talk to you next time, Leroy.
Peace.
And Phil, take us to a commercial.
Want to find out what the AfterBuzz is about?
Janice is a drama queen.
This is the divide that is going to carry the series.
Give us a call. 424-256-1729. 424-256-1729.
It's television, and they want it to be as dramatic as possible.
I mean, it's Shakespearean.
You never know what goes on behind closed doors.
Find out why AfterBuzz TV is the #1 source for after-show content.
Now, in the eyes of Jimmy, Nucky is a villain.
424-256-1729. 424-256-1729.
I mean, who would you guys rather hear that from? Your husband or your best friend?
The wig will come out.
When the TV show is over, get your AfterBuzz on. AfterBuzz TV News.
All right, so we have some legal drama over Johnny Bananas. The former Real World star is threatening to sue HBO over the Johnny Bananas storyline on Entourage, claiming he owns the rights to the name and never gave permission for the show to use it. Johnny was out in Beso in LA the other night and told TMZ, quote, "It's not like I spilled hot coffee on my vagina and I'm trying to make a buck off of it. My identity has been stolen." He adds, "I've been on television for the past 5 years, acting like a jerk-off, creating this name and making it a household name. And I'll be damned if some half-assed gorilla is gonna come by and steal my thunder. I intend to fight vigorously in defense for the 3 of the years of hard work and dedication I've spent making Johnny Bananas a household name. And the purpose of this lawsuit is aimed at protecting the integrity of my brand." Well, a spokesperson from HBO tells TMZ the folks at Entourage have not received any correspondence regarding this matter. Steamer, what are your thoughts on this? And we got to thank DJ Behar, who does Entourage after show here. She got us this piece of news. So, Steve, what are you thinking of this outrageous claim right here?
It's like the ultimate case of this, like, courting yourself for attention. Like, a household name, like, really?
The years of hard work to become a jerk-off,
brand,
to be an asshole, and someone's destroying that name by calling a gorilla Johnny Bananas. That's right. HBO's making you look like the asshole, not yourself. You got it there, bud.
Yeah.
All right, our other piece of news, we already talked about it with Leroy. Just again, guys, check out his t-shirts at itstshirttime.com, the Roy Lee inspired shirts. And that's your AfterBuzz TV Challenge Rivals news and gossip for the week of August 9, 2011. So we had a nice surprise today with Leroy calling in.
Now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
See, everybody leaves me in the studio all to myself, and look what they missed out on.
Yep.
All right. So next week is what I've been waiting since the first episode. Other than the Nehemiah scene, which let me down, but we see CT hammering into Johnny, just beast mode. That's what I want to see. That's what we're going to get next week. I'm hoping that that's not in the final challenge. I'm hoping that is for the jungle next week.
Yeah, looks like it's the jungle just based on the way they showed it, so it should be pretty phenomenal.
And it looked like he knocked Johnny, right?
Yeah, I don't know. They showed Tyler lying down, so I don't know if it's his helmet or what. But whoever he knocks out on that team, doesn't really matter. I'm still going to laugh at it. So
Absolutely.
Regardless, I win.
So you're thinking? So I mean, really, we're thinking CT and Adam are going to win the challenge next week.
Yeah, and I remember like 2 weeks ago when they showed Johnny and Tyler at the end, like saying they control it, and we were saying how that could be foreshadowing that obviously they don't control it, and looks like they're the next ones out, and I don't think there's a chance of being CT in that challenge.
Well, no, absolutely, and he's mad and angry right now, and he has something to prove to the house. We see really quickly this scene with Jen, like hooked up to a machine of some sort, like she's hurt, and she's like, I don't know if I can go through with the challenge anymore. So maybe Jen and Mandy are going to be out for the count, which I'm expecting them to be out for the count because competing against Laurel, competing against Evelyn, I don't know if Jen and Mandy really have it.
I don't know. It's well, Mandy did buy the new pit, so that had to cost money. So maybe they won something. I don't know. That's the way I'm looking at it.
That's true. What else do we get for the next week's scene? They really didn't show too much.
No, they don't give away too much, but they just show the phenomenal jungle, which that is the draw for me, I think, just to see somebody, either Johnny or Tyler, get laid out.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's going to be beast mode next week. Who do you think's going to take this? Who do you honestly think could really go home with this?
I still think it's Wes and Kenny.
Really?
And then the females, I hate it, but I think it's Evelyn and Paula.
Really?
Yeah, I'm disappointed in both of them, but I just think they're the better team.
I'm going to say it like this. I'm going to pick... See, for a guy's team, I'm kind of up in the air. Because I would ideally want CT and Adam to win. because CT's just been pegged as this bad guy. And he's worked really hard to get him and Adam to the point where they're at. But I don't think they're going to win. I think something's going to slip up, and that's, like you said, mentally with CT, and that's going to happen. An inkling of me, and actually even Maria Menounos at the end of The Real World last season when we did the after show here, we brought up the fact that maybe Leroy could go all the way. And another reason.
I think.
Go ahead.
I think he could. It's just the fact that these challenges seem like they're like long endurance type things, and I just don't think Mike has enough. I think he's the weakest of the guys there, so be dragging Leroy down. If it was Leroy and somebody else, then yeah, I would agree with you. Since Leroy is pretty damn badass, as we thought tonight, but I just think Mike just
right. No,
runs it for him.
I hear that, but one thing that sparked, the only reason I'm saying it, and not just because we had him on the line tonight, what sparked me was when we watched the after show at the very end, and I know they were putting it in reference to Paula, but the way Mike came out, he was really, really cocky. And he was just walking differently. He had this glow about him. And at the very end, he said to The Miz, I have it written down, in the end, I'm the winner, I win. And it could be just about the girl, and I could just be taking it totally out of context, but I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. I'd be really happy if they did, and hopefully.
Yeah, I would be very happy if they won.
If that is the situation.
I'm not expecting it, but if they did, it'd be awesome.
And girls team, I as much as I do hate to say it, I do think it might be Evelyn and Paula. I don't think Cara has that endurance at all. No. Well, Steve, I appreciate it. 2 weeks in a row. You've been my right-hand man, and you've done me proud, sir. So I want to thank you for definitely calling in. Leroy, definitely want to thank you, give you another shout-out for calling in. Fans, let's get our iTunes podcast up to number 1. Check out iTunes. Go to the iTunes store, AfterBuzz TV, MTV Challenge, and subscribe to us. Until next week, same time, same place. Peace.
From producers Kevin Undergaro and Phil Svitek, engineer DJ Jesse Janedy, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. If you have questions or comments, be sure to buzz us at info@AfterBuzzTV.com. And you can find us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter by searching for AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.